everyone, Bowen339 with DoubleBuff Productions, bringing you a video in the new Star Wars Battlefront beta that just got released this past weekend. It's pretty much all I've been doing since Friday, just playing through this. Wanted to look good enough to post a video. Not that looking bad playing video games has ever stopped us from uploading videos before, but whatever. Battlefront beta. Big fan of the last two games. Just wanted to talk about this new one. Give you my first impressions and opinions. Maybe offer some insight as to what the final game might be like. So, quick breakdown. What you're watching right now. This is a game mode called Drop Zone. It's one of the two game modes that they've released for the beta. On one of the two maps they've also released. Actually, really kind of like this map. It reminds me of the Battle of Serenity Valley from Firefly. And wow, that's an obscure reference, but I'm gonna make it anyways. The game mode is kind of like territory control, kind of like headquarters. There are escape pods that drop from the sky, and semi-randomly around the map. It's your job to collect them and activate them as a team, hold on to them for a certain amount of time, and once that time has elapsed, you get a point. First team to 5 points wins, or whoever has the most at the end of the time period. So, by the way, all this footage is pre-recorded just so I could focus on the commentary a little more. So let's talk about the experience. First impressions of this beta, gonna be honest, they were pretty middling. You know, it was pretty rough. Had a lot of issues when I first started playing, and I will admit, they were all just beta issues. Things betas are supposed to iron out. So I'm kind of glad of that. You know, just things like jumpy frame rates, just like geometry glitches, a lot of lag, and the controls weren't as tight as I wanted them to be. Especially the melee, it's a little clunky. It's a little hard to control. Also, I was bad. You know, I was just a bad player, and it was getting a little frustrated. And I think partly what that has to, stem from is I came in here expecting the old Battlefront experience. But really, they've made a lot of changes to this game, and really the only similarity between the old game is the setting in the universe, is the Star Wars universe. It's a much faster, much more modern take on the franchise. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of, the Battlefield games, which makes sense, because DICE developed it, and DICE developed the Battlefield games. Now, do I think this game being like Battlefield is a bad thing? And the short answer, no. I don't think it is. I like Battlefield, I like those games, and when I heard DICE was making the third Battlefront game, that's kind of exactly what I expected, and kind of what I was hoping for, honestly. Now, that being said, spent a whole day, the first day that it was out on Friday, asking myself, is this fun? Am I enjoying myself? Am I having a good time? It took me till Saturday to get a definitive answer. And that answer, yes. Now, it definitely has some flaws, sure, but I enjoyed my time with this beta. Let me give you the highlights, what I thought was most memorable about my time. First of all, kind of the most superficial thing, this game looks and sounds beautiful. The graphics are great. They're on par with, current gen consoles. Particle effects, very bright and colorful. Explosions look like explosions. They're very dynamic. And I made a point to mention the sound of this game specifically. Guys, the sound design in this game is top notch. The weapons all have really good weight and sufficient pew pew pew. The explosions are really visceral and jarring. I mean, they shake your screen and vibrate your controller. It makes you feel like you're right there. It's very immersive. Firefights are very loud and epic. And of course, the score and music is, the Star Wars sound you know and love. It looks and sounds like a Star Wars game should be. Sounding and looking like. I will say that. Let me go on to kind of the biggest thing, the combat, the gameplay. Talk about the weapons and equipment you get so far. So everything is now bought in an in-game store using credits. And you earn the credits by playing games, completing challenges, the usual way. it's kind of like a ratio of how many points you get in a game. I could see how that could be a very prominent way to introduce microtransactions into the game, is so many credits for so much real money. Not sure, it wasn't part of the beta. I wouldn't put it past EA and DICE to incorporate it into the final product, though. Past that, the beta itself had 4 guns available, which it doesn't sound like a whole lot. It definitely sounds like there's a lot more variety that's needed. But I definitely found the ones that I liked. This one right here, it's the starting Rebellion blaster rifle. You don't normally get that if you just start playing as the Imperials. There's faction-specific guns, which is very trademark of DICE for doing that. You can buy the other factions' guns, though, through credits. So I will say I really like the Rebellion rifle. And I gotta say, they did a good job of replicating the Stormtrooper rifle, because that thing blows. You know, I just could not get any kills with that thing. But they also have a blaster pistol, which is, you know, more short range, faster rate of fire, lower damage, and then kind of like a Gatling machine gun kind of thing, which is much more longer range, you know, higher damage. Anyway, something I did want to talk about when I mentioned equipment in the game is very new feature that they introduced just for this game. It's called star cards in your star hand. I think it's how you incorporate your equipment into each game. Now, when I first saw that, I thought they were going to be a lot like the Titanfall burn cards, where you just pick 3 and then you use them once throughout the game and then they're gone. But these are actually reusable, and they operate on cooldowns throughout the game. So things like your thermal detonator, your grenades, those are a star card. I have that on the right button there, and it kind of sounds unbalanced and just like overpowered to theoretically have infinite grenades that you can just keep throwing. But you know, in my time playing it, I found that, you know, the cooldown was long enough that it didn't feel just like spamming grenades, you know? Sure, if a lot of people start throwing grenades, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of explosions, a lot of chaos. But, you know, combat moves fast enough in this game where 7 seconds is enough time for people to regroup and reorganize. Another star card that you have is called the Cycler Rifle. And it's kind of like a ballistic rifle. It kind of takes the place of a dedicated sniper rifle, because they really don't have a real good analog for that in the normal primary weapon blaster rifles. Basically, you know, headshot is a one-hit kill, and then the body shot is, you know, about 90% of their health. So at full health, if you don't hit them in the head, they're not gonna die. And I thought that was a good touch, a good balance. In just my opinion. Another card they have, which I don't have on right now, you've probably seen me using the other 2 throughout this gameplay. I might upload more gameplay footage of the jump pack, which is kind of like a jetpack. Very useful. I really enjoy using that. Makes things feel a lot faster, a lot more dynamic. It's good for, you know, just moving around the map quick. It's good for advancing and ambushing enemies. It's good for escaping situations, because it's actually kind of difficult to shoot people while they're in the air. I don't think I definitely didn't kill anybody while they were, you know, jumping around, and I had a really hard time hitting them. And then one of the other ones that I used a lot was this personal shield. It just stops all damage from hitting you, and you know, I like it. This guy right here, he actually has his. You can't shoot while you're using it, but you can still throw grenades, use your star cards, and melee. So it's really good if you want to just rush into a pod and capture it, like these guys do. They're doing a very good job of using these cards and using those shields. And I think we end up losing this game pretty badly too. Yeah, we're kind of just fighting for this pod for dignity at this point, because there's no way we're we're coming back from this. You can see we're already in kind of like an overtime. It's at 0 time. Something I will gripe on, though, is the incorporation of draws into the game. You can draw if you end with a tie score, which I feel like that's easily remediable, because you can already go into an overtime if you're contesting a pod. So I feel like they might want to change that. You know, just one of my final thoughts. But yeah, that is kind of my first impressions of the beta here. You can see we are about to wind down. So I'll probably end up posting some more footage of the beta, some more gameplay, maybe without commentary, just so you can experience more of the sound better and you don't have to listen to my dumb voice. Like I said, we do end up losing this game, but I had a really good match. You know, 41-12, that's probably the best match I've ever had. But thank you very much for watching. I really enjoyed bringing this video to you. If you'd like to talk about your experience with the beta, be sure to leave a comment down below. I love hearing about that. So, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.